Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Dr. Alexandra Mayer, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. We're excited to have you here. If you've been watching all along, we're switching gears this week and we're switching into aesthetics. So in my practice, right, I specialize in women's hormones and aesthetics, and aesthetics is one of my huge passion areas. I grew up in the world of aesthetics. I've used good skincare my entire life. I tell my patients that despite the fact that you wouldn't know it looking at my skin, I actually am very acne prone. And so I treat my patients from a really just kind of been there, use it perspective. So I never put things on my patient's skin that I wouldn't put on my own skin. I throw out like giant bottles of really good product just straight in the garbage because I won't use it. In today's video, I want to talk about a problem area. And the problem area that I want to talk about is those smoker's lines, or in my patients, I would call them like straw lines or those kissing lines, right? So the vertical lines that come up above your lip line. They are a super common area of concern for women. And I want to talk about treatment strategy because treatment strategy really matters in this area. So let's think about the musculature, right? So when we're treating the lips, when we're making that pursing lip like this, what we're doing is we're contracting a circular muscle that's around that lip. And that really matters because it is different, right, than some of the other muscles that we would treat. Because it is a circular muscle, if we treat it too aggressively with things like Botox, we won't be able to purse our lips as well. So we won't be able to drink out of a straw. Some patients have a hard time eating if they're over-treated, and I have definitely seen this. And sometimes patients will have a difference in dictation and like the way we actually speak, right? So I have a patient, actually I have two patients, they're sisters, and they are from New York. And one of them came in with those lines being her main concern. And we talked about it, and I said, I really wouldn't recommend Botox for you. And I wouldn't have recommended Botox for her because she is a very expressive speaker. She really uses those muscles when she speaks, and dose high enough to actually make a difference in those lines is going to change the way that she speaks, right? So in those cases, sometimes we'll do a little tiny bit of Botox, which can be really helpful, but I really don't like to overtreat that area. The other thing that I don't like in that area that sometimes I hear that people have done is like filler. I would go more towards treating the problem. So what options do we have for that, right? What we're actually experiencing there is going to be a loss of collagen and elastin in the skin. So the way that we want to think about this, the analogy that I would use is like a piece of paper, right? If you take a piece of paper and you fold it, but you don't fold it hard, right? You just kind of like lightly fold it. You can usually spread that out and the line's going to not stay. What about if you fold it again? But again, you're not pressing it too hard. You're just kind of folding it, folding it back and forth. Eventually, that area where we're folding the paper is going to lose its structure. If we fold it and then we crease it, right, and then we unfold it, that line's going to stay because it's really about the structure of the paper. We've now changed the structure of that paper and the line is now staying. It's the same thing with the skin. As we age, our structure of our skin changes, so we lose collagen and elastin, and fine lines and wrinkles tend to set in more, especially in the way that we use them, right? So everybody has different faces that they make. They have different muscles that they use in their dictation and their expression. And so we want to consider those things. My favorite way to treat that area would be to treat the collagen and elastin, would be to cause the body to build more collagen. So what are our best ways of doing this? Our best ways of doing this would be with microneedling or with threads. And PDO threads can be a really good option around that area. Again, the thread is actually just there to build collagen. What happens is we put in a little tiny thread and we pull out the way that the insertion technique, we pull out what helps us insert the thread, and then we leave the thread in there, and what happens is the body tries to heal that wound, right? Because that's really what the body wants to do, and starts to build collagen around it. So that's an option. My favorite option would be microneedling. So microneedling, again, is based on the way that your body heals itself. So what happens is every single time we insert a needle into the skin, the body goes, ooh, okay, that was trauma and I need to heal that, right? And how does your body heal trauma? Well, your skin heals trauma by building collagen and elastin. And so what we want just enough trauma that the body goes, yep, let's stimulate fibroblasts, let's create some collagen, but not enough to scar. And really we want to get that trauma all the way down into the deep layers of the dermis, because that's where we're going to build collagen. In that area, I would go for something like an RF microneedling. So what is the difference? Regular microneedling, or microneedling with PRP makes microneedling much more effective based on studies on collagen production, is a really great way to cause that trauma and create collagen production. RF microneedling, on the other hand, is basically microneedling, but the needle is insulated all the way down to the tip, and then the tip lets out radio frequency, or like a little bit of heat energy. That heat allows us to create more damage in the lower layers of the dermis. More damage means more collagen production. And so in patients where they're really noticing those lip lines, we want to get as much tightening as humanly possible. And that is done with RF microneedling. So as long as you're a candidate, right? So no metal in the treatment area, no pacemakers, things like that. And then obviously another host of other questions on autoimmune conditions, all of those kind of history things that we need to look at. RF microneedling is going to be the best way to get tightening and to really treat those lip lines. And if I had to go to my first treatment for that area would be RF microneedling. My second treatment would be microneedling with PRP, especially if we already have those lines set in. And then Botox, a little tiny bit of Botox can be really helpful, but we really have to watch the way that how you live your life and how you dictate. And then when we're thinking about that area, prevention is key. So oftentimes, like I said, I'm not seeing this really in smokers because most of my patients don't smoke. What I'm seeing it from is using straws. And so a lot of patients would prefer to use a straw, and that's okay. If you are that person, then you're really going to want to treat this area early. Get on it before you have any lines at all. And if you were going to do that, preventative microneedling with PRP is amazing for that. And so we really want to just prevent that as much as humanly possible, because it can be a hard area to treat. And if you already have those lines set in, you want to go for something strong like an RF microneedling. So tell me what questions you have in the comments below, and also tell me what areas are your main concern on your skin, so that we can do some videos to address those common areas of concern for you.